Something else that came out of CSUN this week that seems pretty interesting is a company called Tech4Freedom, and they offer a couple of different products for the blind and visually impaired. One of them is the Box One for All, and this is a small device that has a number of different uses. Frank, you spoke with them a little bit about their product. Let's take a listen just a moment to the gentleman you spoke with and have him describe a little bit about what this does.
I'm here with Jao May from Tech4Freedom, and he's going to explain what devices that he has that might benefit us. Go right ahead.
Okay, thanks, Frank. Well, what we do, first of all, we believe that every person has the right to provide his full potential to the world. This is why we work very hard to create multifunctional devices which provides more autonomy to people so that they can achieve their full potential. We do our best for that. An example is these two devices that we have here. This is the Box One for All, and this is the Beacon, which are fitted with a lot of sensors, analyzing the surrounding of the user and providing the information he wants to know at each single moment. For example, I need to know the color of my shirt to know if I'm dressing properly, or I need to know if this is my jacket or my brother's jacket in order to avoid a discussion, as you can imagine.
Yes.
But if I'm going to have breakfast, I want also to distinguish whether these Crispies are mine or my sister's cereals, or even if the temperature of my coffee is right, or I'm going to have an accident with my tongue, you know?
So it will be able to sense the temperature of coffee?
Yes.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
By touching the cup, okay? And all this, it's done it through sending the information through the user's mobile phone. And why we do it like this? Because the user's mobile phone is the best interface for him, because he has adapted to his needs and preferences. So we are not going to invent the wheel if it's already invented. And we can also, for example, know the body temperature or object's temperature, as I said before, but also environmental temperature or relative humidity. Also, we can label things. For example, I can label all my food boxes in a very fast and easy way. What we do, in fact, we use cheap and common technology to create innovative, funny, and easy to use functionalities. We really work hard to provide nice experience to the user.
That sounds incredible.
Thank you very much.
Do you have a website?
Yes, we have a website. It's Tech4Freedom.net.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Okay, so Frank, as we heard him say, sounds like this device can do a variety of different things, talking about temperature and color identifying. So talk with us a little bit about what your perception is about what this product does.
The Box One for All is like kind of like a handheld remote, about the same size, and it has one button, so very easy to use. And I'm assuming it talks to you, or the app. He didn't do a live demonstration, but what it can do is it can basically tell you the temperature, the environmental temperature, the humidity, things like that with the weather. It could also tell you the temperature of your drink, whether it be coffee or hot tea, or maybe a cold drink or soup or anything like that. It's a color identifier. It also is a labeler where you can label things, your food or maybe clothes and things like that. So it has multiple uses for this device, and I thought that was pretty cool. Although I don't use any of that kind of stuff, if I want to know how hot the coffee is, I'll just stick my finger in there for a few seconds and then I'll know.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah, or just feel the outside of the cup. That to me, that's a reflection on the temperature. But I mean, it is important to know, and especially if you're outside or or whatever. So I think this device will work well. And they have another device called TheBeacon, which is a small round unit, and it has you can either clip it to your belt or your backpack or a keychain kind of a thing. And what that does, of course, that's Bluetooth as well. That does is you could put it somewhere that you might need to reference later as to maybe in your house or someone else's house. But I will take the swimming pool for example. You could place it by the swimming pool, and within the app tell TheBeacon to notify you as you're getting close to the swimming pool, and it will notify you. And what he did explain, which I thought was really cool, is this beacon you can hook up to as many as 10 beacons to your phone through this with the app and the Bluetooth. And so he mentioned playing football and putting a few down the sidelines on both sides and one on each end for the goal, and that you'd be able to kind of sort of play football, and as you were getting close to the sidelines, you would be notified as to how close you were to the sidelines or where you were at. So I thought that was pretty ingenious. And I thought about, hey, maybe you can use this for basketball as well, or some, a sporting kind of event that is not as, very intense, but yet you can maybe do something with it. So there's a lot of usages for this beacon, I think, that might be pretty cool.
Now, Sean, back to the Box One for All just a moment, and then I'll get your thoughts on Beacon as well. Do you see the Box One for All being something that could replace or be equivalent to other things that you're already using to get that type of information? Is this something that you could find appealing or no?
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest, because it's almost like the smartphone has taken over from everything anyway. Remember the time when you used to have a GPS like the Tracker Breeze and a voice recorder, and you just carry around all this stuff, and the smartphone seems to do all of this now anyway. So it does seem that this particular device can do a little bit more. The temperature is an interesting aspect, and maybe it can do the color identification. Maybe it can do that better. And I haven't found an app on a smartphone that can do that particularly well yet. So maybe there is a place for this, but I do struggle, to be honest, to see how useful this will be. But maybe for some people, they can find a use for it.
Well, there may be some people out there that don't have the money for having a smartphone, so maybe they don't have an iPhone where they can have the apps and services available there to do color identifying and to tell you the at least the air temperature. And there are apps that will tell you barometer and temperature and all that with putting in your zip code and things like that. So if somebody can't afford a smartphone, maybe separately they would prefer to have a separate device like this that could get them the same information. I don't know if maybe it would be something appealing to people in that situation, but I think you're right, though. To somebody who has a smartphone already, a lot of the utility of this product is already available in other ways, and maybe even less expensive ways. Frank, I'll come back to you in a moment about the Beacon, but first, Sean, while I'm talking with you, what about the Beacon? I know that Apple has their own iBeacons, and they're trying to sell those on a mass market scale to airports and shopping malls, things like that. But this is a little different. This is an upstart trying to get it for you in your own personal space, where you can utilize it with your phone and be able to mark basically waypoints in your own environment. What do you think about having something like that?
Sounds fantastic. I think of so many different uses for it. The sports use there that was given. It's really good. And there's so many things you could do with it. For me, I mean, when iBeacons were announced, fantastic idea. But how many years ago was that? I've never seen any used anywhere. I've never had any interaction with one. So in true Apple fashion, they sort of, it's not really opened up to the market. So if someone could come in, a third party like this could come in and offer a product that works well, then I'm all for it. I think it's a really good idea, depending on the price point again.
And I agree with you. I think the promise of an appealing product like this is so nice, especially to the blind and visually impaired, to be able to mark those waypoints and to have that usability right there with your phone. Frank, were you able to find out any information about how much each of these products cost and when they may be available?
No, I went on their website and I didn't see anything about a price point or anything like that. And He did say that they would be available like in the summer, this summer, I think. Okay. He did say that. And I did. That's not in the interview. I was talking to them afterwards about it and everything else. And I wanted to find a price point so I could be prepared for the podcast, but I didn't see anything on their website either, or a demonstration. I thought there would be like a video demonstration or something like that on there, and I didn't. There wasn't anything on there that I could tell.
Well, see, for me, I would want a price point around no more than $30 or something for a beacon. Do you know what I mean? Because if you want to get a few of these, and for them to be truly useful, you're going to need a few of them around the house for whatever reason you want to use them for. If they're $100 or something, then you're going to struggle for a use, I think.
There's going to be some sort of niche out there that the iPhone or the Android just can't do. And so hopefully this might be one of them. And hopefully the price point is okay.
Definitely. I mean, the beacons could be, I mean, it's not necessarily a visually impaired thing anyway. This could be a mass market thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's only useful for the visually impaired. The fact that they've made I'm assuming the app accessible and everything, and it's more geared towards the visually impaired, doesn't mean they couldn't mass market. I know, lots of people could use this.
Absolutely. I think that this is a product that, again, going back to the iBeacons, the appeal has always been very promising. And I could see it, again, in shopping malls, in airports, schools, playgrounds, you name it. You could put it almost anywhere to mark off certain points of interest, have different information associated to that points of interest, utilizing an app that can get you that information. So I think that this space is something definitely to keep an eye on and to watch to see what happens next. Because, again, as you guys both say, if the price point is reasonable, then I think this could be a very important product going forward.